Hey, this is dumediat, and in this video I'll be bringing you a solve of a puzzle called Whispers of Mercury by Jolly Rogers. This is a Sudoku puzzle, so we have normal Sudoku rules. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box will have the digits 1 to 9 once each with no repeats. We have these thermometers in the puzzle, so digits on a thermo will increase from the bulb end to the tip. So for example, if we had a 1 here, we can go 3, 6, 8, or any combination there. They don't have to be consecutively increasing, they just have to increase as you go up along the thermo. And we also have a rule where we need to draw a 1 cell wide loop in the grid of orthogonally connected cells, which does not branch or touch itself, not even diagonally. So we are drawing a loop kind of like this in the grid, that where these cells move orthogonally. Orthogonally means it shares an edge with another cell. So for example, the loop can't go diagonally. That's not allowed. We need to have one of these two cells on the loop. And then we can't, let's say the loop does this, we can kind of go alongside and close the loop this way, but what we couldn't do is touch here diagonally. That's not allowed. And we also can't touch orthogonally where these two kind of are forming, like running parallel to one another. And the loop itself has some rules to it. So if you're familiar with German whispers, the loop that we draw in the grid, let's say it's in these cells, these have to follow German whisper rules where adjacent digits along the loop must differ by at least 5. So for example, if we deduced that this was a 7, then this would have to be, for example, maybe a 1, and this could be a 2. And that's 7 and 2 are at least 5 apart, and 7 and 1 are at least 5 apart. The other rule with this loop is that all of the thermal bulbs have to be on the loop when we finish drawing that in the grid. So each of these cells has to be along the loop somewhere. Those are the rules for the puzzle. I encourage you to give this a try yourself. I looked on Logic Masters Germany where this is published, and it's 2 stars for difficulty. So let's see how we do. I'm going to go ahead and restart my timer and give this a try. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to use is that we know all of the bulbs are going to be on the loop. So I'm going to use green for the loop. I'm used to using green for loops. And we know that we're traveling, it's going to be a loop. So we don't have a start and a finish. This is all just going to be one sort of connected thing. So we don't have any dead ends on the loop, which means that this cell in the corner, it has to be a corner that touches this. If we don't use both of these cells, then we're going to end up with a dead end in the corner. And in fact, we know this now, and I want to maybe, well, yeah, I want to use, it's going to show up decent. I don't want to obscure the pencil mark, so maybe I'm not going to use color for right now, but we know that this cell, for example, can't be on the loop. And I'll just show for demonstration. We have this, and then we take this cell. Number one, it's touching itself here. So if we kind of finish drawing this, these cells are going to be touching each other along the snake, which is not allowed. So we know that this cell here is off the loop. I'm going to use yellow for off the loop, so this thermo show up better. And so now the loop has to escape out here. So we're going to have sort of a German whisper line on these 3 cells. Now, I don't know if we know much about that. Like, we do know we're going to have sort of high and low along this snake. I'm not prepared to color that just yet. 2, 3, 4. What else do we know about this? Problem is this thermo is only 2 cells, so we don't know much about what I'm looking for on a German whisper puzzle is where our high and low digits go. And by high, I mean anything above 5 and low being anything below 5. So if it's, for example, if we try to put 5 on a German whisper line, if you've not solved these before, you need to have an adjacent digit that's at least 5 away. And so the only digits available would be 0, which is not allowed in this puzzle, or 10. So we can't have 5 anywhere on the loop. So, for example, 5 in this box is going to be in one of these cells. Now, the other interesting digits to think about on German whispers are 4 and 6. And the reason for that is if I were to put a 4 anywhere on this loop, for example, here, then the only digit that's at least 5 away from 4 is 9. But I want to end up with 2 9s next to each other if I try to do that. The same is true with 6. The only digit available that's 5 away is 1, and I want to end up repeating. So it's going to be pretty restricted where we can actually put 6 on the loop. And 4. So actually I don't think any of these cells can be 4 or 6. Definitely not these 3. So if I try to put 4, if I try to put a 4 here, the next cell along this is going to be a 9, but then I'm going to have to put 9, the loop is going to go in one of these 2 directions next. So the 4 is either going to have 9 with 2 9s in the box, or it's going to go up here and have 2 9s in the column. And the symmetric logic is going to apply to this. If I try to put 4 or 6 here, I'll get a 1 or a 9 here, and then that's going to repeat in one of these 2 cells. Either way, it's seen by Sudoku. So 4, 5, and 6 are all here. Fortunately, that still doesn't tell me about high and low, because these can still be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, for example. Just wondering too if I can restrict. Like, I'm wondering if the loop can come up here and take this cell. If it does, we get this can't be 4, 5, or 6 again. Well, maybe it could be 6, actually. I take that back. Never mind. Oh, okay. So one other thing I see. Maybe. Ooh, not quite, I don't think. It's going to be hard for the loop to sort of go along a thermo. Because let's say, for example, we try to put this cell on the thermo. These have to be at least 5 apart. So if we minimize this and make this a 1, this would have to be, it couldn't be a 6 because we'd have to put another 1 in the box. But so it would have to be at least 7. And then we couldn't take this cell because this would then be 8 or 9. Actually, it would just be 8. And this would be 9. Oh, and that blocks that off. That's interesting. Oh, that's tricky. Yeah, so, okay, so let me find a way to explain that a little bit more clearly. So if the loop takes the next cell on this thermo, we have to jump up by at least 5. So whatever this is, even if it's 6, let's just kind of ignore the fact that if we minimize this at 1, this has to be at least 6. And so if we just look at the thermo then, and we're assuming that this is kind of where this loop goes, then the rest of the thermo, this is 7 or 8, and this is 8 or 9. And now where is this loop traveling to? It's going to another high digit, and it's not going to be at least 5 away. So actually, this this loop can't actually take this cell. So we end up with another corner where it has to escape, and the only way you can do that is by taking both of these cells. We get another corner here. And now this also is off the loop because it would just create a dead end in the corner here. Okay, and now also this is a little bit trickier to see too, but the loop can't take this cell. If it does, I'm going to use blue for my what if. Actually, no, I think I'm wrong with that. I think it can take this. Yeah, because the reason I thought it couldn't is because if I try to make this 1, for example, a low digit again, this is the 2 steps away, so this is going to be a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then this has to flip to be a low digit, 2, 3, or 4. And that's true if you solved German whisper puzzles before, you'll kind of know as you go along a whisper line, you're alternating high, low, because of how the math works with needing to be at least 5 away. We sort of explained that before, but if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, the next is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'll just keep alternating. And so I saw that if this is 1, this would be 4, but then again, you're going to need, wherever this snake grows next, you're going to need 2 9s around the 4. So that won't work. But the problem is, if this is high, you can have 6, 7, 8, 9, with this 6 making these both 1s, for example, and that's okay. Because then the snake can just leave the box, and we can make that work, I believe. So we don't quite know that yet. We do know that this comes out, though, to finish the loop. I thought this was going to be more restricted because this does take up all, if this is on the loop, we have all 4 high digits taken up in the box. But again, you can just escape out. What about this one? Can we take this cell? I don't think it works as this restricted as this, because in this case we had to take a Thermo cell, which broke it, but if this can go up and then just turn this way. So one other thing we can try here is there's something with puzzles with orthogonal loops, where if you know, for example, in this puzzle we have German whisper, we have this alternating high-low along every other cell. We can use something called checkerboard logic to determine sort of where all of the high digits and all of the low digits are going to approximately appear. And the way this works is, let's just take a look at this box, just as an example. Let's say if I make these are low digits and these high digits, just for sake of example. You can kind of see this checkerboard pattern where if I checkerboard these rows, you notice the high digits are falling on this side of the checkerboard, and the unhighlighted cells have all the low digits. That's because whenever you move every other spot, you're always going to fall on the same color of the checkerboard as you make 2 moves in orthogonal directions. This doesn't work if you're moving diagonally, but it does work orthogonally. So, for example, wherever this loop goes in the rest of the grid, I can know that the high digits are going to be in all of these highlighted cells throughout the whole grid, and so anything that's not on one of the highlighted cells will be low. And even though we don't know what they are, what I can do, maybe I'll make this snake grow like with different colors here just to highlight this. And so anything on this checkerboard is going to be green if it's on the snake. So I'm just kind of mapping out this checkerboard by moving diagonally, but we can see, for example, we don't know these cells yet. But these are all our green cells. And the blue cells are going to fall, like here's going to be a blue cell, and those two are going to be blue cells. And this one isn't, this is green. So we know these three cells are on the blue part of the snake. So we know all of the blue cells are going to be the same high-low, and the green is going to be the opposite. Problem is, I don't think that helps me make any further progress here. Maybe I haven't thought enough about fours, fives, and sixes. Because, we already looked at this cell. I thought that was going to be more restricted. I wonder if I missed something. If this is 6, this would go, these would both be 1. This would go 7, 8, 9. And then the snake could go here. This would be, for example, 2 or 3, and then this is just going to be the high digit coming down here. So we end up doing like this. This would be 6, 7, 8. So this would be a 9. I don't really see how that's restricted. What about, yeah, this one isn't going to be restricted. I don't think either, because again, I can just grow this way, or I can just avoid that altogether and just do something like this. We do know 2 of these thermal bulbs are going to be one high-low and the other one's going to be the other. Oh, maybe that's it. Oh, that's weird. So, yeah, we know these are on the snake because they're both thermal bulbs. If this is 6, like we said before, where this can kind of like the snake can move over here, we said this was 6, 7, 8, 9. But regardless, if it moves over here or not, if this is the high, if green is high, then it has to be 6, 7, 8, 9. But if green is high, this also has to be 6, 7, 8, 9. And now look, we've got 2 9s in row 2. Because these are on the same color of the checkerboard for where the snake can grow. And just to verify that, just to make sure I didn't make a mistake here, but yeah, these are on the same part of the checkerboard and definitely on the snake. So these can't be, wow, that's tough to spot, but it does give us that green is not high. It gives us that these are the low digits. And then these are the high digits, the blue ones. And now I kind of want to go back to I kind of want to go back to just one color for this snake, but we'll leave this alone for now. Just have like a striped snake as we go. The problem now is I think, no, right. We said in this world, the snake can't grow onto here. If it does, we know these are both low. So this would have to be, it's a 4-cell thermo, so this would have to be 4, 3, 2, oops, 4, 3, 2, 1. This 4 would have to be next to the 9, but there's going to have to be another 9 here in this box. So now we actually know that this is not on the snake, and then this is. So we're doing this. And this also is not on the snake because it would be a dead end. This thermo we actually know because this is a high digit on the end. So 9876 is the minimum. So this is just 6789. And now another cool thing you could do with the checkerboard is if we have a high digit that's not on the correct color, then it can never be on the snake. Same thing if we have a low digit that's not on the correct color. And that's kind of inverse logic. But if you imagine we know that this is a low digit, so anything on the checkerboard, if it's on the snake, it has to be low. And so this cell here is on the green checkerboard color, but it's high. So we know that the snake does not take that cell. I believe this, yeah, the same is going to be true for this 9 because, again, looking at these high digits, the high digits are going to be on this color of the checkerboard and the low is going to be here. So this is also not. So then this would be a cul-de-sac and it can't go there. Now, if we imagine this snake turning this way, it would have to make a corner. And then again, we've got 2 orthogonal cells touching one another on the snake, which is not allowed. So we can't actually get into this cell here. We can't go that far. And then that's going to be a dead end. So if we do this, we can go like that and just kind of barely get out. Okay, that's cool. So what does that tell us though? That's interesting. So we know the 6 now is on the snake, on the loop, and it needs to be next to a 1, but it can't grow in these 2 cells because of this one. So we know sort of this isn't going in either of those 2 directions. And so this actually forms a new corner here. So we've got these 2 cells that have to be, the loop has to kind of duck in and duck out. And then both of these become 1. Okay, that's not 6 we know. These are not 1. So this is not, well, it never was 6, but it's definitely not 6 or 7 now. Okay, so we've got this now can't be on the snake for the same reason, or on the loop as before, because again, we'd have 2 orthogonal connections. So this is yellow. So now this has to get out of here somehow. So no matter how it gets out, it can't just go down 1 cell because we get an orthogonal. So it's going to have to sort of dip down 2 cells to come back. And so we know both of these are on the loop in order for this to get out. Actually, this is a corner, so we know all 3 of these are yellow as well. Because if it touched here, we'd be touching the loop at the corner, which isn't allowed. And so this has to sort of come in and then come out through this channel. So we know all of these are on our loop. So looking at our checkerboard, these are the 2 green ones. And so these are the blue ones. We can also kind of count back this way. These are blue. And I will shamelessly pencil mark this whole thing at this point. I don't mind doing that. So this, we already said before, it can't be a 4. These can't be 6 because we need, again, 2 1s. Or if that was 4, these would both be 9. That can't be a 4 because these would need to be 9s. That can't be a 4. So we've got a 1, 2, 3 here in the row 9. Our 1 is in one of those two. But more importantly, we have a 1, 2, 3 triple. So this has to be a 4. And so this is a 9. Takes 9 out of those. Now, if the loop went this way, we need another 9 here, which can't happen. So it has to go up. And that's our 9. And now we have our direction of our loop. So all of these are off the loop. These are not on the loop because it goes straight through and we can't touch orthogonally again. One of these cells is a 7. This is something that comes up in German whisper puzzles quite a bit. So because one of these has to be a 7, this one can't be a 3. If it was, 7 is not 5 away from 3, so these would have to both be 8, so that doesn't work. Okay, what's the next step here? This 4 looks up, so these are 2, 3 pairs. So all of our low digits are taken up here. Oh, this 8 also, 9 looks up, making this an 8. So this is 5 and 6 for the column. And so now our loop can't take this cell. If it did, it would be a 6, because 5 can never go on the whisper. But if this was 6, this would have to be 1. And so that doesn't work. So this is not on. And one possibility would be that this could maybe go around like that. But the problem is, there's a few reasons. The easier one to see is this is not on the correct checkerboard. This would have to be a low digit, and it's not. So that doesn't happen. So these can't be on the loop because they'd be a cul-de-sac, and same with this cell. So this one comes out this way. And this is a 7 or an 8. 9 looks up, so that's 9. So we've got all of our high digits here. So the rest of these are 2, 3, 4, 5. Importantly, again, the checkerboard here means this would have to be high if it was on, and it's not. The other way to look at that is one can't come up here because the maximum here is 5, and that's not high enough to be 5 away from 1. So that's yellow. And so this loop needs to continue this way. This is not 7 or 8, so this is a 6 or a 9. It's not 6 because, again, we need 1 on both sides, and the other 1 would have to be in one of these two cells, which breaks by Sudoku a few ways. So this is a 9. Okay. This is not a 4 because this can't be next to 9. The one thing I have trouble with in these puzzles is scanning with all these colors. So eventually I'll tone this down and remove all the yellow, but for now I'll keep it so we can keep track. Okay, so this can't be a 4 now. Oh, we already said that before, but it couldn't be a 4 before, but now it's easier to see. We can't get a 9. We'd have to have 9 in both of these cells. This 9 looks over, that's not 9. So we got a 7, 8 pair. So we got 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. So these cells, 4, 5, 6, and 9. There's no 6 here. So there is a 6 here, and there's no 9 here, so there is a 9 here. The 6 means there's a 6 down here somewhere. In fact, these are just 5 and 6 for the row. So these are 2, 3, 7, 8. 8 is here somewhere, so these are from 2, 3, 7. Okay, so this needs to take a low digit next. this needs to take a low digit. This needs to take a high, but it could do that. Oh, yeah, it needs a high digit, and there's already 7, 8, 9 in this row. So if it went and took a high digit, it would have to be a 6, but that can't be a 1. So this does have to go left one cell here, and that makes this a 9. It can't be 5 or 6. Now this is 4 or 5. This could still take this as a 4. No, it can't. If this takes this as a 4, then this needs to grow in one of these directions, and this would have to be, again, 4 can only go next to 9. Either this would be 9 or this would be 9, and that breaks by Sudoku. So it doesn't go left, it locks off there, and this goes up. And now this would be a cul-de-sac if it was on the loop. Okay, so this is 2, 3, and it's not going to be 4 because, again, we need another 9 in this box, so that's not going to work. So again, all the high digits are gone except for 6 in this row. So if this, well, for one thing, this is a corner now, so that's going to be yellow. But if the loop moved this way, this would have to be a 6 again. Same reason as before, it breaks because this wouldn't be a 1. So it goes up, and this is from 7 or 8. Can't be a 6. And then this now connects this way. So this isn't a 4 because that's not a 9. Very nice. These are now not on the loop because they would touch orthogonally if they were. Okay, so the only high digit, we actually need a 6 in this column still, but it could go here, but the only high digit left in this column would be a 6. So I was just checking if this can go up, this would be a 6. And then it'll be 1 here and then 1 here, which I think still works. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing stuff by Sudoku at this point too, because we've got quite a few digits put in, or at least limitations. Okay, so this 9, it's going to be next to 2 and 3. It's not going to be a 4 because if we go to 4 here, we need another 9 or another 9 here. So one of these is going to be 2 or 3. Don't know if that's restricted. If it is, I'm not seeing it. Is it this Thermo? If it does grow up, this would be a 6, so we know it goes 6, 1 and would go back left. And it's 6 because 7, 8, 9 are taken out here. I think it could still go even up this way though. Or just straight this way. This is kind of restricted. This is 2, this would be 3, so this is at least 4, 5, 6. Not as restricted though. It's not 8. Not quite as restricted as I was hoping. 1 is over here. Is it another whisper trick that I'm missing? That's 7. It could go like this, I think, still. Is there any other rows where we are out of low or high digits? This can't be a little bit hard to see, but the only high digit we have left is a 6. So if we're looking at our checkerboard, these, if they're on the loop, would be high. So this would be a 6, or this would be a 6. But this one can't be a 6 because we would need 2 1s in the box. And so just looking at our checkerboard again, this falls on where that would be. So we know that this can't be on the loop. So that can't be either. Oh, of course. We have this one moving out. So this can't go down now because this would touch diagonally, or it would form a mini loop. So that's not on. So this is. Okay, I think that's what I was probably missing. Because now this is either 6 or 9. And this one is going to do some more work here. That's cool. So regardless of where this grows next, if this is 6, it would need a 1 here, and then a 1 either here, which you can't have, or here, which would put 2 1s in row 1. So this is a 9. Very nice. So 9s in these here. Okay. What's the next step? Any other things with this loop growing? Just making sure that we've got this so far. We've got quite a bit drawn. Don't see any more limitations on like Sudoku, for example. I'm actually surprised it hasn't come up more yet. This goes up. Just looking at pathing here. If there's any reason, like if we're taking up too many high or low digits, and I don't think so. If this goes right, this is 2 or 3. Can't be 9. Or sorry, it can't be 4, because it would need another 9 here. It would do this. This would be 2 or 3, this would be 7 or 8. And then it would have to grow up here again. We do know something here about how this loop generally connects. So this loop, this end here, in order to avoid creating 2 mini loops or like the loop crossing itself, this is connecting to this cell, and then this is connecting to this cell. And I'm noticing this kind of restricted area here. For example, if I go right, then I have to grow exactly like this from this spot. And then I have to get back over here to connect. But now I think maybe not. I'm looking to see, because now this end would have to kind of very specifically not touch this. So if I go right, I couldn't go up again, because I would go back around this way, and then I'm touching here. So I would have to go this way, at least to here. Now, is that going to cause a problem with too many high and low digits in this box on the loop? I would end up with a 2-3 pair here and a 7-8 pair here, which I think is okay. I get 2 3s and 7-8. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. They come down here. Is it a problem if I come down here? Because then this can't be touched, so this would have to then come like this. But again, I don't see that being a problem because this would be 7 or 8 again. Maybe it's a little bit tough, but I'm kind of thinking maybe this cell has to be on the snake, because if it's not, this is yellow, this has to come around here like this. Yeah, blocks. So again, this would have to come up through this channel to connect over here, but now this is trapped because it would have to touch. So this is definitely on, and it's on the blue part of the checkerboard, so it's 7 or 8. Maybe, no, it can't be 6 because it would need a 1 in this box somewhere. So this is 7 or 8. Also looking at this Thermo just to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious with what this could even be, but this could even be as low as 4 still. 4, 3, 2, 1. If it is, I think this is actually going to help with a little bit of loop pathing too. These are kind of hard to see at this point. I'm surprised this is 2 stars for difficulty, or I'm missing something, which is entirely possible. This I don't think can be on the loop, because if it is, it's green, but it's on the end of the 4-cell thermo, so it would have to be 4 if it's on. Not so much concerned about the Sudoku part of this, but I'm more concerned about how are you actually getting to this cell. You would need to have 9s in these 2 cells. So that's yellow, that's yellow. Okay, that is going to help, because now we can't go right and out because we would be creating another orthogonal touch here. And so it doesn't come this way. But it still can go up and to the right. But we know this is on. This is coming up through here somewhere. So now I ask if this can be off the loop. And I don't think that it can, because this would have to come in this way. And now we're connecting the loop too early. So this has to be on the loop, and it's on the green part of the checkerboard. So it's a low digit. Don't think it can be, it can't be 4. Because again, 9 here is broken. It can't get 2 9s in this box, and then it could do 9. It comes this way, but then it needs to get another 9 in one of those 2 cells. So that's not a 4. This is tricky. Again, this can't go left now, no matter which way this goes. If I go left, I'm diagonally touching this part of the loop that's coming through here. So this is not on. This has to go up. It can't go back down. It's got to go one of these two directions. So this is 6, 9. If it's 6, it doesn't work. Because of this one, this is doing a lot of work, this puzzle. It would need to get a 1 here or 2 1s in the column. So that's 7 or 9. And now it can touch either of these, I believe. It's going to depend on which way this goes. Just making sure, again, there's no more Sudoku that I've missed. One is down here somewhere. Don't think so. We still need 4, 5, and 6. Got 1 here in this column. 3, 2, 1. If this, oh, okay, yeah, if this comes up, well, this could still be a 6. If it's on, this is 6, and these are both 1s. Is that a problem? These are both 1s. I'm looking just by Sudoku. I just noticed it's kind of restricted. You get a 1 here, a 1 here. But I think that's actually maybe even likely. I think it actually just finishes the 1s. If it turns left, then we kind of get this connection. Because this couldn't go over here. This would be 2 or 3. This would be a 1. Can I still do this? This would be a 2, 3 pair, 7, 8 pair. Oh no, I can't. Okay, I can't touch this cell now because of that. Okay, I should have seen that. So now we can't go right here because we get the orthogonal connection. So neither of these can be in. This is 3. We've got a 2, 3 pair in column 5, so that gives us a 1 here. Oops. Okay. Now this can't be, the loop can't go up this way because we've got 1, 2, and 3 taken up. This would have to be a 4, but these aren't 9. So that's not on. This is on. Not a 5 or a 4, it's a 2 or a 3. So we got 2, 3 in the box. Okay, and so these are from, there's a 6 over here. Yeah, there's a 6 here. 6 there, so this is 6 here by Sudoku. Problem is that didn't help over here because now we're walled off anyway. I think these can both be 8. Yeah. What I'm looking at here is whichever one of these is 7 has a 2 next to it. So this would be like 7, 2, 8, 3, or vice versa. But I don't think either is forced. Oh, one of these is a 2. Or one of these is a 3, rather. So this can't be a 7. So this is an 8. For the whisper logic we did before. So 8, 8, 8 is over here. 8 is in one of these two cells by Sudoku. Looking at those. This puzzle doesn't want to give up. These are 4, 5, and 7. I've already had almost an hour on this puzzle. Picked this up thinking it was going to be 2 stars. It is not, in my opinion. Yeah, the problem is this, well, it's not a problem. This can still be on the loop and even be a 4. If it goes down, I don't see a restriction. Not missing any other relatively simple whisper logic, am I? Oh, I am. This can't be a 3 because, again, we used this before. That probably would have made some of the steps easier. If that's a 3, both of these are 8, and that doesn't work. So that's a 3. We got a 1, 2, so that's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. Okay, get somewhere. This is not 3. One of these is a 3. This is a 3, so no, this is an 8. This is a 7. This is an 8. This is not an 8, so by Sudoku, we've got 4 8s looking into box 7, so that's an 8. Okay. That all looks all right. This is a 3, so this is an 8. That's a 7. That's a 2. That's a 3. Okay. 1, 2 pair. This is a 3 in one of those two. The 8 do we have in the grid? 8 is in one of those two cells. In one of these, so this is actually a 3-8 pair. The 7 looks over, that's not 7, so that's not 6. So this is 4, 5, or 6. Three in this box is actually placed by Sudoku. So that's a 3, and that could be on the loop. So one of these is on the loop and it's a 3. If it's this one, this is a 9. Oh, yeah, that's cool. So if this goes down, this goes 3, and this would have to be a 9. If it goes over here, this is 3, and this still has to be 9. So that's always 9, which does help with some Sudoku. 9s. So that's the last 9. This 7 looks like makes that an 8. That looks like making that 3 and that 8, which then resolves. That can't be on the loop because it would go 9, 8, 9. So that is. Okay, so one of these is on. Don't know which yet, I don't think. Oh, we do know which one because of the 7, 8, 9 here. So, well, let's do some more Sudoku here. 2. Oops. 2, 1. So this needs to be 4, 5, 6. We're going along a thermo here. So this has to be lower than that. So we're going up here this way. Now this can't go up because it would go 1, and then that can't be any higher than 5. If this is a 6, 7, 8, 9 already gone, so this would have no value. So that's not on the loop. That is. Okay, so now we've got our loop is done. Nice. And so the rest of these digits in this box are 1, 2, and 7. And one of those two is the 7. So 7 by Sudoku in this box is one of those two. We also have a 1, 2, 7 triple in the column. So these are 4, 5, 6. We now have a 4, 5, 6 triple in this row. So the remaining cells are 1, 3, and 7. Why did I say this wasn't a 7? Pencil marks here. I actually don't know. So I'm not going to use that. This is not 1 or 3, so this is a 7, so I guess that works out. This is not 1, so that's 3, that's 1. That's 3 by Sudoku from before. This is 2 and 4. So this has to be 5 or 6 to finish the row, and that makes this a 7, which doesn't restrict that. 4, 5, or 6, that's 4, 5, or 6. Lots of 4, 5, and 6s that are going to be resolved somehow. This is obviously not 7 or 1, so this is a 2. That's a 1, that's a 7. What makes that 2, that 1? Probably a lot of Sudoku I'm missing at this point. 1 in this box goes here. This box needs 2, 3, and 7. 3 looks in, it makes this a 3. So this is 2 and 7. This is 2, 4, 5. Wow. We got a 5, 6 pair here, so we still need 2, 4, 7. That's not a 2. So in this box, 5 is up here, so that's not a 5. So 5 is here, that's not a 5. 5 is here, and 5 is there. What's in this box still? 2, 4, 5, 6. That's 4, 5, 6. Oh wow, okay, so 7 in this row is what the Sudoku step is. Can't be here, and it's not any of those cells. So also looking at those. That's what I was missing. Okay, 7, this is 6, like using that 7. 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, those are 5. Oops, what did I just take out of there? These are not 5. This 6 makes this 4, 2. This is a 5, 6 pair. This is a 5, 6 pair looking down, so that's 4, that's 2, that's 6. The 4 makes this 5 and 4. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. Nice. This 4 makes that 2 and 4. 7, 2. That's not 7, so we've got 4, 5. That 4 makes that 5, that 4. That's 6, that 5. And this 2 makes this 4, 7. And this 5, 6, and 5. And that is Whispers of Mercury by Jolly Rogers. Very possible I missed something there. I know I missed some Sudoku with the whisper line at the bottom. Maybe that would have made some things easier, but that felt pretty tricky. It used a lot of different interesting logical steps, looking at kind of everything almost I know about these sort of German whisper loops. There's quite a few puzzles out there. If you like this one, using either snakes, where it's not a full loop, or actual loops. But that checkerboard logic came in really handy in a surprising way with the break-in, where we found that these two Thermo's bulbs were on the same color checkerboard, and so they couldn't both be high because it would force 2 9s in row 2. And that combined with some of the corner logic we did, sort of gradually making progress through the puzzle, figuring out where the snake could grow based on digits available, how many highs and lows we already used up. So really, really great puzzle. I'd probably rate this a very solid 3, maybe even closer to a 4-star puzzle if I'm being honest. Maybe I was just being slow, so probably somewhere between 3 and 4 stars would be fair. But anyway, I had fun. Hope you did too. Sorry for the long video this time, but we'll see you next time. Bye.